But then I hear a footstep, like a hard ass footstep at the bottom of the stairs. It was like, and all the noises stopped. And I was like, okay, so this is the boss bitch, because everybody else shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And that's when the fear came in.
Would you say crazy things have happened like in your life as well, or your life has been pretty tame and mainly the crazy comes with the tattooing?
It's crazy because a lot of crazy stuff does happen in my life. I
Yeah.
feel like the craziest thing that's happened to me is living in a haunted house, like fully, bro. Like that shit was, to this day, kind of affects me. I'm not gonna lie.
You have PTSD from the haunted
I'm not gonna
house.
lie. I do. I think I do for real. Like,
Do you have a tattoo of like anything of meaning to that haunted
oh
house
my god,
too?
I
Or
should.
yeah, you
I
probably should.
should.
You probably should.
On my forehead.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Just you. No, I wouldn't do it, but
I was about to say. So what happened with this haunted house?
okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, yeah.
You ready for it? Because it's this. I was like 16. I lived in that house for 2 years.
Okay.
At this point in time, I was fully just committed to the atheist idea that there's like nothing greater than us. There's none of that shit. It's just nothing. We're here and whatever.
Mm.
And my grandma in Peru was a shaman, so she's very familiar with like energy and spirituality, and my mom also. So they used to do some crazy shit that it was inexplicable, but yet I would still be like, nah, bro, that's nah. So we were really poor
A
growing up.
shaman is like,
hmm
like what is that
So
in like English?
so
A
shaman
psychic or
is like a priest.
a priest? Okay,
It's
got
a
you.
priestess.
All right.
Yeah. And in Peru, shamanism is basically healing. It focuses on healing through herbs, a lot of prayer,
Okay.
and my grandma would have like visions of things that would happen. So
Okay.
like she would tell my mom, "Don't go down the street tomorrow because some shit's gonna happen." Or
Oh
like
shit.
something involving a car accident. Like she would be very specific with it.
Yeah.
And then it would happen.
Goddamn.
So yeah, so just brujeria type shit. Like, so yeah. So we were really poor growing up because we came here when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And my dad always wanted that white picket fence. So once he started getting paid more money and we were able to live a little bit more comfortably, we moved to a house, like a nice house. And I was like so excited. I'm like, yes. But the second I stepped in, it was like such a negative energy. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like to this day, it was like something not want me there. I have never felt like that in my life, bro. So I remember looking at my mom and I'm like, there's something not right here. And she was like, just ignore it.
So you called it before any like, and at the time like you didn't even believe in none of the this spooky
Exactly.
stuff, but you were like, nah, I feel weird up in
This
here.
is weird. Like the second it's like, this is weird. This is some shit. I felt like I was in a movie half of the time. That ass, like for real. So I remember telling my mom, like, and she was like, just forget about it. Don't think about it. I'm like, that's not an answer, but okay. So 2 weeks later, I'm like, my brothers are in school. I have two brothers.
Yeah.
My dad's at work. My mom is home. She's in the kitchen. I was in the living room.
Yeah.
With my mom. And she's like, yeah, I'm cleaning. And all of a sudden I hear a door slam shut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? Like, I never experienced that. Like a physical thing. That was like a physical, like, juke. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
So I go upstairs. I'm like running everywhere. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? How, what? And I go and I see there's no doors that are closed. Like, every door is open. So I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
So I go back downstairs. I'm like, Ma, this shit happened. She's like, just ignore it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this is the star of a horror movie.
This is like, I'm telling you, it's so cliche. Like when they say like, I felt like I was going crazy. It's like, bro, like you don't get it. Like when you're in it, it's sick. It's like sick. They fuck with your mind or something. I don't know. But anyway, she goes, I'm going to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay here. And you know what? I want to see something. I just want to ask it to do something.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't do that. I'm like, I'm going to do it. She's like, I'm not going to be here, so do what you
So
want.
do you.
Do you, bro. I'm like, all right. So I go to the top of the staircase. I close my eyes and I'm like, my eyes are closed.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do what you wanna do. I'm just gonna sit here and be in the presence.
Okay.
I literally talked into the air. I felt so stupid. But when I say there was noises everywhere, it was like the shower curtain was moving, plates were moving downstairs. People, I could hear walking, like full on walking, bro. Like passing through
As
me.
you're standing there with your eyes closed.
As I'm sitting at the top of the stairs, I remember like my eyes were closed and I literally feel this footsteps coming towards me and then just keep going and I just like feel this like electricity. But I didn't feel scared though. It was more like a calm, like, okay, it's happening, whatever. But then I hear a footstep, like a hard ass footstep at the bottom of the stairs. It was like, you know, like a Jew. Boo. And all the noises stopped. And I was like, okay, so this is the boss bitch, because everybody else shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And that's when the fear came in. That's when I started like, oh, this is something not right here.
Yeah.
So we're going up the stairs and I'm like, oh, and it's coming towards me. That's great. That's fantastic. Then my mom came in and I ran downstairs and I was like, there's some shit here.
Yeah.
She was like, I've been telling you to just ignore it. I'm like, all right.
She probably knew.
All right. All right, bro.
Your mom probably experienced something that first night that she was there and was like, you know what, but we're already here, so fuck it. And then you trying to talk about it, she's like, yo,
yeah, well,
let's just ignore that shit.
Yeah. And you know what she said to me later on? She was like, to be fair.
Yeah.
To be fair. I was like, why we stay so long? Like, why it took us so long to move out? She was like,
Yeah.
to be fair, that house was nice as fuck. And I'm like, okay. What about the mental torment?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
So I'm assuming over the course of these 2 years, like after that happened, there would just be like those things, like the shower curtain or something would move or something would slam, and like you just experienced that, like.
Nah, bro. It was more than that. Things would go missing. Knives would go missing. Pots would go missing. I'm so dead ass. Like, so my mom would be like, did you take this shit? And I'll be like, no, I didn't take nothing. My brother's book bag went missing. My combs. Some of my makeup went missing too. I remember I kept losing my mascara, so I like go buy a brand new mascara. The only thing I bought. Put it on my bed. Went to the bathroom, came back, it's gone. I'm like,
damn.
The fuck? Somebody took it.
Yeah.
And nobody took it. I'm like, oh shit. Now what am I gonna do? But footsteps, bro, down the stairs, knocking on the wall that's next to my bedroom, like knocking, like it was like, you know, and then it would just go fast like that. Right? I know, ayo, it's fucked. Ayo, it's fucked. But then it would stop. And I'm like, these ghosts is fucking right next to me. That's crazy. It just kept do. And then it would stop. And at first, for the first few months, it scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. It used to scare me. Even my friends would come over and they would hear it. And we would run out into the hallway and we would try to see. And there was nothing there. And the noise would stop too. When we would like run out of the room to try to see it. And I was just like, yo, this is just confirming that other people are witnessing this.
Yeah, so it's not just me.
It's not just me. Then the smells, bro. There used to be this horrible smell that to this day, I cannot, like, I have never smelled anything like it. It was like this rotting meat combined with like rotten eggs. Like it was a horrible smell. And I would tell my brothers, like, do you smell that shit? And they'd be like, no. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? Like, it would be everywhere. So it was one time, and they would never catch it either. Like, I would be like, y'all don't smell that? Nah. Okay, I'm crazy. So it was one time I took a shower. I came downstairs. I go into the kitchen.
Yeah. Because
I want to get some water. I have my towel. It's my brother. I don't give a fuck. And my brother is like, yo, what the fuck is that smell? So he turns around to me. He's like, you smell horrible. And I'm like, dead ass? Yo, smell my armpit right now. He's like, I don't want to go near you. I'm like, yo, just smell my armpit. And he comes close to me. He's like, oh shit, it's not you. And then he like backs up. He's like, oh, it's gone. And I'm like, what did it smell like? He's like, it just smelled like food, like rotten food. And I'm like, you smelled it too. And it happened like a few more times after that. So it was like the smell.
So do you think somebody like died in that home?
I don't know.
Or like, and like that's probably what you were smelling?
I looked
like a decaying body or something.
Probably.
Have you ever smelt a dead body, by the way?
Honestly, yeah, in Peru.
Oh
It's
shit.
horrible. It was
Yeah.
horrible. It was a
And
horrible
it
smell.
was it similar to that or?
It was very similar, which is really weird. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've smelt a dead body before. Like one time, me and my friends we were like playing tag outside one day, and it's so funny. It was like around this time too, but this is like when we were younger, like 10, and like every time we ran past this one spot, it just smelled horrible, and it was like a really hot day too.
Yeah.
And after a while, like as the day went on, the smell got worse and worse.
Oh,
and we're like, nah. After a while, it got so bad that we wouldn't run by that spot anymore. Like, do you know how bad something has to smell for 6 boys that are like outside playing to go, I'm not going past that spot, and we have to go past that spot, but we would prefer to like not play just to not go by that spot.
Right.
Later on that night, we look on the news and they had caution taped off the spot. We were playing tag next to a dead body in the trunk of a car that was driven out there from Jersey and left right there. And that scarred me. I was like, what the I was smelling a dead body. Like that rotten smell was a dead body.
Right.
It's like, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Once you said that, I was like, dead body in my mind.
And it's crazy because it would appear, then it would disappear. So if it was a consistent smell, then I'll be like, okay, something is dead here. That's weird. Yeah, no, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like,
so you believe in ghosts now?
I do. I do. I feel like the craziest thing that happened there though was the landlord came one day and there's an attic and it's padlocked shut. And even if we opened the padlock, but for whatever reason, there was a staircase that you attach to it. It's not even like you open it, a staircase falls down.
Yeah.
So he came in, he wanted to check out some stuff there. So he was checking it out, just doing its regular maintenance. He comes back down and he gets tight. He's yelling at my mom. How did you guys even get up there? What the fuck are you doing? I told y'all not to get there. And I'm like, how will we even get up there? The padlock is there. I go up there with my mom.
Yeah.
All of our missing stuff is there. The knives, the pots, the mascaras, like the combs. And it wasn't just like thrown there. It was like lined up, like something organized.
I got a freaky conspiracy theory. You ready?
Yeah.
I've heard stories of homeless people living in other people's homes.
Oh my God.
Like, and they'll be there sometimes for like a month, 2 months, and no one would know. And the only way that people found out was like they stumbled upon something like that, or they caught the person breaking in, and then the cops came and found like their attic or basement and found like, holy shit, like the person was living here. So when you had shit going missing, when you heard sounds every once in a while, it was like 'cause somebody was squatting in your home. Do you think like that's a possibility at all, or do you feel like nah, ghost?
You know what's crazy? I feel like that would be I would believe that.
Yeah,
but it was just
honestly
like,
that would be way more scary if it was a whole person.
I'm not gonna lie, you would be absolutely right. Like what? But I feel like the thing as well is that it was impossible to get up there. Like it was actually very hard to get up there. Like it was a very high ceiling, one. And two, you needed a very special staircase to get up there. Like it was like hooked on.
Oh, plus I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like you just open it and
just come down. Yeah.
Once you open it, it comes up. Yeah, but you need a staircase to put it up there, and it was a pretty high staircase too.
Oh yeah,
and it was
so you had that. I forgot what movie that is, but they were like in the basement. But yours was the opposite. Your ghost was in your attic.
If it was the basement, then I'd be like, yeah, it could be somebody that's here. That's scary.
That seems a little too.
The attic is a little like, and it's just like a little. It's like a little. It's like not a floor of it. It's just like a little thingy of it. So it's not like somebody could just get up through a crawl space and get up there. Like, you know what I mean?
So after you leave this place, do you feel like anything follows you? Do you feel like everything stayed at that house?
You know what the crazy thing is? I had a best friend that I would call every time some weird shit would happen.
Yeah.
And I would tell them about everything. And one day I came over to their house. They live close to me. So I came over to their house and I was like, yeah, like we're finally moving out. So happy. And they're just like, you know what, fuck that ghost. And he like just cursing them out. And I'm like, I don't know about all of that. Like, I don't know about all of that. He was like, fuck that ghost. They bothering you, talking about their mother. I'm like, oh, wait, the mother? Nah,
the ghost's mom's? Nah, chill.
Not the ghost's mom, bro. And all of a sudden, bro, it's a PS4 controller. Like, this shit's heavy. It's not like the wind or nothing. That shit hit him in the shoulder. Like, that shit flew. It's like, and he like looked at it.
I would have cried. I would have cried.
He looked like he was just. I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie. I was laughing
Because you've already seen enough haunted shit.
Exactly.
So to you, this is like
this is hilarious.
This is comedy, yeah.
But it was his face. He was like in disbelief, and he like just sat up and he was like this for like a minute, just like considering life. And then he looks up at me. He's like, "You gotta get out of my house, bro." I'm sorry, like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have kicked you out. Yo, you brought this shit.
You gotta go, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's you. You haunted.
You're the drama. Like, yeah, that ass.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. That's crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so you said you have like a conspiracy theory about life, or
Yes.
is it about ghosts?
I think it's about the ghosts. So
Okay.
I'm a very scientific person.
Okay.
Like, I'm all about logic.
Okay.
So I have a few theories on what ghosts might be.
Okay.
So my first theory is the observation effect, the observation theory
Okay.
in physics.
Yes.
So basically, the idea is, it's like super complicated to explain, but the idea is that when you're not looking at particles are what makes up everything, from like this car to like your hand and shit. If you're not looking at it, it acts differently. There's an equation for how atoms and particles move, and then there's a separate equation for measuring how they move when you're not looking at it.
Okay.
So the test goes.
How would
like,
it know that I'm not looking at it? Based on energy or
It
something?
knows, bro. I don't know how to explain it, but it knows. So this is what happened. This is the experiment. Scientists are bored as fuck, as
Okay.
they are.
Yeah.
And they have this panel. So they're like, what if we shoot an electron and just through something?
Yeah.
And they're just like, all right, why not? So they have a panel, and
Yeah.
they cut a little slit through it. And then behind that panel is a wall.
Okay.
So they're just like, we're just going to shoot through it and we're going to see what happens. So they shoot the electron through it, and it goes through the other side. So they see a line that was created because it's like a little slit. It's like
Okay.
a little opening. So they're like, okay, cool. They're like, so they just like put another slit next to it. And they're like, what if we just shoot it through both? Like, just have one that shoots the electron and just have two slits. Let's see where it goes. And they're just like, all right. So they leave, turn on the machine, come back, and there's not two, there's not three, there's 5 lines, but there's only 2 slits. So they're just like, how did this happen?
Okay.
So they're like, okay, maybe they bounced off of each other because there's all the electrons that they're shooting. So let's just shoot one by one, because if they're creating 5,
Yeah.
that just fucks up the laws of physics that we have in place for this reality. Like, we would have to re-examine the laws of physics. So they start it up, and it's shooting one electron at a time.
Yeah.
They come back, and it's still 5 lines, 5 little things.
Yeah.
So they're just like, what the fuck is going on? Because they're freaking out.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? We're gonna put a camera in there.
Okay.
So we can see exactly which particle goes where. How did they decide? How does that happen?
Yeah.
And they put the camera there, and when they come back and they check the results, there's only 2 slits. There's only 2 lines. There's not 5 anymore. There's only 2.
Oh, because they were watching.
They were watching. So they're just like, what is happening here? So they do it again and again and again, with the camera, without the camera, and it's like consistent. Every time they're watching,
Yeah.
they behave differently. There's only 2 lines.
Yeah.
And when there's no camera, there's 5 lines. So they're just like, this means that electrons, 1, know when you're watching them, which is crazy, and 2, behave differently when you're not watching them. So inside your bathroom, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
We don't know what's happening in there. You don't know what's going on. You literally don't, because nobody's in there.
That's true.
It could be a black hole of just particles moving crazy.
Yeah.
The
And
second
then
you open the door-
open the door.
Boom, the toilet, the sink, shower.
That's interesting.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
I
You can
never-
look it up too. Like, this is like a.
You want to know what's so funny? Like, I've always wondered, like, it's not exactly the same thing, but kind of
Mhm.
the same thing.
Mhm.
Like, we have a bearded dragon, right? And I just realized, like, he knows exactly when I'm looking at him. If
Mm.
even I don't really move, if even I just move my eyes like
Mhm.
that, he knows when
Mhm.
I'm looking at him. And I'm like, how? Like, what's inside of your brain or your body that's different that gives you that instinct to know, like, when I'm looking at you? You
And
know? Because he doesn't like to eat when anyone's watching him. So he'll be over there eating, and the second that my eyes look, he goes, stops. And I'm like, yo, it was just my eyes. I didn't even, So I'm like, maybe there's things in the world that, us as humans, because we're able to create all this stuff that we don't have, right?
Right.
But that's out there, and that could be something similar, right? Like how you mentioned particles act differently when you're not watching them, right? It's like that could very well be true, considering the fact that all these other, like, you find almost any animal in the world has all these crazy instincts and abilities and agilities. It's like, why wouldn't atoms, the things that make up those things, have something similar? So yeah, that is a crazy thought, and I'm gonna look into that. What's it called? The
observation theory in quantum mechanics. Oh, you found it.
Yeah.
Fuck that mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called observation theory.
Okay.
In quantum mechanics, not psychology, it's a whole different thing. But in physics, yeah, look it up. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's insane. Like, I have one ghost story of my own.
Oh, please share.
And so one time, my dad is in the room watching. He's in my parents' room watching TV. Mm-hmm. I'm in the shower. My older brother's in his room playing video games. My other brother's in his room playing video games or watching Monday Night Raw or something, right? Mm-hmm. I'm in the shower. My mom's downstairs on the computer, in the dark, just on the computer, probably doing schoolwork or something. Uh-huh. And this is like, I'm in high school. I leave the bathroom. Now, mind you, I went into the bathroom with everyone doing whatever they're doing. I go into the bathroom, I come out. The second I come out, everyone's still in their same spot, but I hear my mom coming upstairs. And then she has this, like, bright-eyed look on her face. And she's like, whoa, why'd you do that? And I was like, why'd I do what? Like, I'm literally still dripping wet, right? I'm like, why'd I do what? She's like, why'd you come down and whistle in my ear?
Nah.
I was like, huh? And my dad and everybody and my brother's like, what are you talking? He literally just opened up the door of the bathroom. I was so confused. And I'm usually the one in the house to, like, pull pranks and, like, do bullshit. But, like, I was like, like, what the fuck? And everybody else was like, dude, like, I've been in the same spot, Wow. And once she said that, I was like, nah, no way. And I had to go downstairs with her to turn off the computer. And she was, like, spraying holy water everywhere. And that shit, at first I thought she was lying to me because I thought she wanted to get me downstairs so she could scare me with some shit. But once I got downstairs and she started spritzing the holy water, that's when I knew, like, oh, nah, she's dead ass. Like, and the way she described it, it was like, sounds pretty believable. Like she was, like, because she wouldn't just make something like that up, right? She's a very, like, blunt person, and she has to see it to believe it type of thing. So, that was, like, my closest experience when it comes to anything, like, ghost related. Do you still have anything, like, ghostly that happens to you now, or do you feel like that part is kind of left?
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Everything, all the activity in the house stopped a couple months before we moved, because after that attic shit, we were like, we're leaving. Like, that's it. We got to find a way to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So a couple months before, it started, like, escalating, like aggressively.
Yeah.
So never in my life have I heard voices, but I was going to sleep and I hear wake up, it's like a when a fly flies by your ear and you're sleeping, you go like that.
Yeah.
I got tight. Yeah. Like, I wasn't even scared. I was just tight. Yeah. Like, you woke me up, bro. So I'm yelling. I'm like, yo, leave me the fuck alone. Just cursing it out. And after that, it stopped. But also, along with it, all my senses of this is wrong or, like, something feels off here.
Yeah.
Just went away, too. Which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Low key. Because I'm just like, take that shit. I don't want it no more.
Yeah. Bring that shit to somebody else.
Right. But I feel like it was like a trade. Like, it stopped fully. It stopped fully.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've heard stories where people have had that one instance where it's like they get super aggressive and then the ghost just, like,
exactly
disappear.
It just goes away.
Well, that's insane. Thank you so much for taking out the time to explain
Of course.
these stories. I definitely got to have you back on. I got some more questions I got to ask you.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. This has been another episode of Anonymous. Take care.